In today's Final Touch, we would like you to meet your waitress, Ginger.
And if Ginger seems a bit robotic, well, there's a reason for that. Ginger is a robot, and she works at a fully digitized restaurant in Kathmandu, Nepal. Customers use touchscreens to place their orders, and then, why do they have to do that?
Yeah.
That's our time for now. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, new details on the Beloit homicide investigation as the suspect appearance.
A state agency launched a year ago an action plan to fight homelessness in Wisconsin.
And Attorney General Brad Schimmel says private events in public spaces need liquor licenses. How those businesses are reacting.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. We are learning more details tonight about the Beloit man accused of shooting and killing another man last week.
Beloit police officers just held a news conference to discuss the details of the homicide. Earlier today, 21-year-old Ezekiel Acosta was charged with first-degree intentional homicide in Rock County Court. He is accused of shooting 49-year-old Jose Reyes last week, the night before Thanksgiving. Reyes was taken to the hospital where he died. According to the complaint, Acosta told police he thought Reyes was trying to break into his home through the front door, so he pushed him out of the doorway and started shooting him with his rifle. The complaint says Reyes was unarmed and did not threaten or attack Acosta. The court declined to continue the hearing until Friday. We'll have more on what officials are saying tonight on News 3 at 6.
A Madison man was arrested 2 days after police say he hit seriously injured a woman with his vehicle. Madison police said 24-year-old C.D. Drame was arrested on suspicion of hit and run causing great bodily harm. On Sunday, a 46-year-old Madison woman was found unconscious, seriously injured at the intersection of East Johnson and Wisconsin Avenue. So shortly after 3 in the morning, police say Drame was arrested this morning. Police say that the injured woman is still hospitalized in stable condition with serious but non-life-threatening injuries.
Let's get a first check on the weather now. Dana Fulton is in the Weather Center. Dana?
We have a few little light flurries for us right now, moving through parts of southern Wisconsin, but no accumulating snowfall really expected for us this evening. Here's a current look at our Doppler track after a cloudy day. We are going to stay fairly cloudy for the next several hours. That snow, as you can see, really moving through the southeast corner of Dane County, parts of Rock and Greene County, also stretching into Jefferson County right now, and then over into Milwaukee as well. Not seeing any traffic delays because of the snow currently. Just some snow swirling around out there. Again, will not be accumulating for us. Temps are chilly. We're at 21 in Madison, 27 in Janesville right now compared to this time yesterday. It's a few degree drop from where we were at actually for much of the area. That breeze still coming from the northwest in the single digits for much of us, really hovering between 8 to 15 miles per hour over the next few hours. So our wind chill, what it feels like outside, still quite a bit cooler than our actual temperatures. Tomorrow, a little bit of good news. We are starting an upward trend as we head towards the weekend. No more going back down. We'll be in the upper 20s for our highs tomorrow, still below average. But we are expecting, again, the weather to continue to improve for the next few days. Not ruling out the chance, though, to see some more snow flurries over the next few days. We'll take a closer look at that full 10-day in just a few minutes.
All right, Dana, thank you. A Rock County Sheriff's deputy shot a dog when he was serving civil papers in Janesville. The deputy says he went to 1121 Johnson Street around 7:40 p.m. to serve the papers, but when he approached an open gate, a full-grown male German Shepherd charged at him. Officials say the deputy shot the dog in one of its legs. It was taken to an emergency veterinary service for treatment. The deputy was not injured.
A 22-year-old Reedsburg man was arrested after a handgun fell out of his pocket while at a tavern. Reedsburg police were called to the tavern in the 100 block of Walnut Street for a report of an armed, intoxicated man. When they arrived, officers confronted 22-year-old Gunnar Tempest. A search of Tempest revealed a loaded revolver and a loaded semi-automatic handgun. According to the reports, Tempest appeared to be intoxicated. He is facing multiple charges and was taken to the Sauk County Jail.
A state agency launched a year ago is releasing its first comprehensive action plan to fight homelessness in Wisconsin. The 30-page proposal from the Wisconsin Interagency Council on Homelessness focuses on housing first and emphasizes case management to make sure that for anyone experiencing homelessness, it is a rare, brief, one-time event.
Anyone who reads this plan will become an advocate, will become a leader and a stakeholder in this movement to hopefully make homelessness as rare as humanly possible in the state of Wisconsin.
The plan calls for $3.75 million in annual spending through the year 2022. Nearly 22,000 homeless people in Wisconsin received services or shelter last year, with thousands more on the streets.
Should farms that hold weddings in their barns be required to have a liquor license? The Attorney General, Brad Schimmel, says yes.
And his opinion has some farmers and venue owners worried. Amanda Quintana joins us now with more. Amanda?
Yes, well, Attorney General Brad Schimmel released his opinion on this in a letter earlier this month, trying to clear up some confusion about a statute. The statute says a public place must have a liquor license, but doesn't define public place. The Department of Revenue has seen barns like this one you're seeing here at Badger Farms as private, meaning they don't need a liquor license but can't sell alcohol. Dave Mule has been hosting weddings here for almost 14 years. The bride and groom bring their own alcohol, and Dave isn't required to, but has a bartender serve it.
We've been playing the right way. We got the opinion from the Department of Revenue how to do it, and we've been following it to a T since we started doing the weddings. If they want to change, then let's talk about it, not have slam dunk change.
He says their venue is essentially a DIY spot for the wedding party. They can bring their own home brews and wines. If all farm venues like his and many others across the state who only operate 6 months a year are required to get a liquor license, it could put some of them out of business. At 6, we will hear from the owners of Fields Reserve, a venue built to have that rustic barn feel, but they do have a liquor license. We'll hear what they think about requiring all other venues like Dave's to do the same, and we will have to see how AG-elect Josh Call feels about this too. That plays into all of it.
All right, Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Monsignor James Bartilla has been elected to temporarily lead the Diocese of Madison following the death of Bishop Robert Morlino. The 71-year-old Morlino died Saturday at a Madison hospital. Diocese spokesman Brent King says the bishop suffered a heart attack while undergoing medical tests. Meanwhile, a funeral mass for Bishop Morlino has been set for next Tuesday at St. Maria Goretti Catholic Church in Madison.
We are learning more tonight about the measures Republicans hope to pass before Governor-elect Tony Evers is sworn in.
The lame duck session could start as early as next week. Rose Schmidt is live at the Capitol to tell us about the Republican leader's priorities. Rose?
Well, the big question has been, will lawmakers take up a tax break bill for Kimberly Clark? Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald said today Republicans still don't have the support they need to pass it. Earlier this year, Kimberly Clark announced it would be closing a plant in northeastern Wisconsin, but with help from the state of up to $100 million, that plant would stay open. The state assembly has already passed the tax incentive proposal, and Governor Walker is urging the Senate to as well. Republicans are still 6 or 7 votes short, and no Democrats have said they'd vote for the bill, meaning the plan is still in limbo.
Senator Roth is still talking to members of the Senate, on both sides of the aisle, and the votes are not there kind of as of today. But like I said, that process kind of continues.
Senator Fitzgerald told reporters today that lawmakers are also looking at moving the 2020 primary from April to March, hoping to improve conservative Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly's chances of winning. And there's also talk of limiting the governor's power over implementing administrative rules and reducing the number of appointments a governor can make to certain boards. Governor-elect Tony Evers has called the lame duck session a last-ditch attempt for Republicans to hold on to power. Back to you.
Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol. Thanks, Rose.
There is a big push today for people to find a little extra holiday cash to give to nonprofits. That means it's also a big day for scammers looking to profit on your generosity. That's why state consumer protection officials are encouraging people to give directly to a charity, not using links sent to them in emails, but by typing the URL into the computer or dialing the phone number directly. You'll also want to watch out for typos. Make sure you're not reversing any numbers or letters in the organization's name. Imposters tend to buy and use web addresses that look similar to the actual charity.
Another thing that consumers should watch for is how the request comes in, who they are to pay. So are they transmitting the money to the person doing the solicitation rather than the organization? So being cautious of that. If there's requests to wire money or pay by gift card to the charity, again, those are indicators that that's not traditional means of receiving funds.
We have a list of places where you can make donations on our website, channel3000.com. More to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, the president rips the special counsel after it accuses his former campaign chair Paul Manafort of lying, while the White House says it has done nothing wrong.
Plus, the president is defending using tear gas to stop migrants trying to cross the border.
And the markets with more gains on this Tuesday. The Dow jumps 108.5. The Nasdaq marginally higher. The S&P up about 9. We'll be right back. The White House says the president has not been involved in any wrongdoing a day after his former campaign chair was accused of lying to the special counsel.
Paul Manafort pled guilty in September to criminal conspiracy charges in exchange for his cooperation with the investigation. Yesterday, special counsel Robert Mueller filed documents with the D.C. federal court saying that Manafort committed federal crimes by lying to the FBI and the special counsel's office on a variety of subject matters which constitute breaches of the agreement. Manafort's lawyers told the court he believes he provided truthful information. The president unleashed several tweets against Mueller, accusing him of damaging the justice system. Yet some lawmakers are worried a presidential pardon could do more damage.
I think a pardon would provoke a firestorm here. It would be solid evidence of obstruction of justice.
Don't see Mr. Manafort getting a pardon.
I'm not aware of any conversations for anyone's pardon.
The special counsel has also requested a judge no longer delay sentencing Manafort, who could spend the rest of his life in prison.
President Trump defending the use of what he called safe tear gas to stop migrants trying to rush into the U.S. Customs and Border Control officials say more than 1,000 migrants tried to storm the border on Sunday.
First of all, the tear gas is a very minor form of the tear gas itself. It's very safe. The ones that were suffering to a certain extent were the people that were putting it out there.
And Mexico is now asking the U.S. to conduct a full investigation into the use of non-lethal weapons aimed at Mexican territory. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen said in a statement, quote, "The violence we saw at the border was entirely predictable. We will continue to prepare for the next assault while looking for lasting solutions with Congress."
Facebook faced tough questions from international politicians at a hearing today on disinformation and fake news. Lawmakers from 9 countries demanded answers from Facebook on data privacy, security, and safety. British lawmakers began investigating Facebook after UK political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica used personal information from tens of millions of users to influence political campaigns. Concerns over Facebook's possible interference in the 2016 Brexit vote and the U.S. election are among the topics being investigated.
Is there a feeling amongst Facebook and the staff that trust in Facebook has plummeted?
Absolutely. It's a major concern, a major topic of conversation. We recognize.
The Facebook VP acknowledged the company is partly to blame in how it handled various scandals. Lawmakers said the social media giant cannot be trusted to police itself.
An estimated 3 million Americans live with a peanut or tree nut allergy, putting them at risk of accidental exposure that could be life-threatening.
A new study published in the New England Journal of Medicine suggests that promising results for an allergy treatment is in the works. Jeremy Roth has the details.
A peanut powder-filled capsule could be the key to treating peanut allergies. Gradually exposing people with allergies to allergens could reduce their risk of a severe reaction. Researchers across 10 countries studied 551 participants with peanut allergies between ages 4 and 55. Most, 496, were between ages 4 and 17. 3/4 of the participants received increasing doses of the experimental treatment. The rest received a placebo. Side effects pushed 11% of the participants to drop out of the study. After a year, each remaining participant took an exit challenge, eating the equivalent of 2 peanuts under a doctor's supervision. 2/3 of child participants tolerated the challenge without a severe reaction. Half of those actually tolerated twice as much, a 4-peanut dose. 10% of children receiving treatment required an EpiPen during the exit challenge, as did 53% of the placebo group. Experts warn this isn't a cure for allergies. Patients receiving treatment shouldn't expect to be able to eat whatever they want. But researchers believe increasing tolerance for peanuts can reduce the risk of a severe reaction. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Immune Therapeutics, Inc., the California-based maker of the treatment, will submit an application for marketing approval in December. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has designated the treatment as worthy of an expedited approval process.
All right, let's take a look at that forecast. It continues to be pretty cold out there. Dana Fulton on the backyard patio.
Pretty cold and pretty snowy for us right now, actually, guys. We have some pretty big fluffy flakes for us falling down. Trace amounts out here on the patio, but not expecting really much accumulation overnight. This little blob of snowfall will be scooting on out of here fairly soon. But it's a nice little surprise to walk outside, not have to deal with the crazy snowfall. Just pretty little snowflakes for us. As we go overnight, it will actually finally become partly cloudy. Today, we just didn't really get a break with that cloud coverage. Fairly overcast for us for much of the day. Partly cloudy to start off the morning, and then we go right back to the cloud coverage, increasing cloud coverage throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And then we do have the chance for some light snowfall late Wednesday, a little more than what we're dealing with right now. May see some trace amounts accumulating for us. Looking at our Doppler track, you can clearly see the areas dealing with snowfall sliding right over Madison in the last hour or so. In Rock and Greene County, they're seeing snow currently. The Milwaukee area, I was just looking at traffic there. It's slowed down. What seems to be a little more than usual, and I would bet my money it's on the snowfall in that direction right now. High pressure is sending us that northwest breeze yet again, ridging right through the plains. Our next system is that stationary front that you can see actually just off to the west. It's going to continue to shift east, not bringing a whole lot of moisture for us overnight on Wednesday into Thursday, but enough that we will see a little bit of snowfall come on through. So overnight, do plan on that mostly cloudy sky for a few more hours, but by tomorrow morning, it clears just a little bit, and that's going to help our temperatures fall into the teens. A very cold start to our Wednesday. Throughout the early morning, you may need the shades for the drive into work. We'll definitely not need it for the way home, though. Temps will actually be in the upper 20s, though, starting a little bit of a warming trend towards the end of the week. Increasing cloud coverage through the evening, and then there's that snow potential coming in late Wednesday and throughout the early morning on Thursday. As you can see, it's not a huge blob. Much of it is going to stay north of Madison, but not ruling anybody out to see a flake or two. And accumulation totals will stay fairly minimal for us. Into Thursday, temperatures will actually be in the 30s for us. That snowfall potential, again, as you can see, that little white trace amount kind of dancing through southern Wisconsin. You go a little further north up towards Black River Falls. Totals could get a little closer to an inch. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the upper 20s. With the wind chill factored in, it'll only feel like we're in the low 20s. That's still cold. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a huge drop off as our breeze is calming down just a little bit. For much of November, we've been below average. Today, that's another blue box for us, as their temperatures were yet again below average this afternoon, barely hopping into the 20s. Downtown right now, we are seeing the snowflakes currently. 23 the high for today. 38 is where we should have been. 14 is where we'll be overnight. Do plan on the temperatures tomorrow being a few degrees warmer, but not a huge difference for us. Mostly cloudy by the afternoon and 29 the high as we head into Wednesday. And again, those temps are going to go up in the low 30s by Thursday, with the chance for a few flurries on Thursday, most of it in the morning. Friday, variably cloudy. And then by Saturday, as temperatures will be close to 40, we're planning on more of a rain event, but there is the potential for some snow to mix on in there heading into Sunday morning. And then into next week, that snow chance is going to pick up again as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Let's look at the sky. Let's see what's going on the roads right now with the first alert traffic update. 12 and 18 at Todd Drive actually appears to be cruising along fairly okay. A little bit of a slowdown on the Beltline, but no major accidents to point out right now. Over towards Middleton, things look okay. If you travel north along 12 towards County Highway K, there is a little bit of a delay there. But that's just usual traffic. University Avenue was red a little bit ago. Now we're closer to that yellow. That's usually a good sign. Eastbound on the Beltline, traveling at about 19 to 21 miles per hour. From Verona Road to John Olin will take you 11 minutes. It is a little slower than usual, but only a few extra minutes to the drive. And then from University Avenue to Verona Road, about 8 minutes green in that direction. Overall, actually, things look okay. Again, no major accidents to report. So if you're getting ready to hit the roads, I would recommend, of course, with just a little moisture on the roads, to go a little slower than usual. But things should be fairly okay on the roads this evening.
All right, good news. Thank you, Dana.
Ahead at 5, police calls have increased at a low-income housing facility in Madison.
What city leaders are doing to try to make that area safe, that's when we come back.
The Tree Lane family apartments opened just 5 months ago, and police have already been called to the building more than 200 times.
The constant police presence at the building for formerly homeless families has some who live and work nearby fearing for their lives. Dave Caulfield has more on what city leaders are doing to try to solve these issues. Dave?
Well, Susan and Eric, even after a shooting at Tree Lane last week that sent a woman to the hospital, city leaders are sticking by a housing first policy, a practice that focuses on getting families a permanent home, then addressing any other issues. But as the issues at the building continue to pile up, officials and residents agree enough is enough.
I've worked here for 24 years, so I've never been nervous about coming, but I am.
It's a quiet Tuesday at Tree Lane family apartments. No police cars, no sirens, no shouting or fighting at the West Side building. A welcome change for nearby small business owner Sherry, who was afraid to let us show her face or give her last name.
We've noticed police calls happening on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times in a day.
Just a day earlier, Sherry had to make another police call, this time because of a car theft. 4 young men sped into her parking lot, ditched the vehicle, and took off running toward the Tree Lane apartments. Some of Sherry's clientele and co-workers are considering leaving.
Some of the people that work here have become more nervous and more on guard and afraid to walk to their car at night by themselves.
And it is very disturbing to my neighbors to hear sirens, to see squad cars, to see officers putting on vests and helmets.
Alderman Paul Skidmore, whose 9th district houses the apartments, says building management, Heartland Housing, has failed to provide any semblance of security to the apartments. According to Skidmore, visitors can come and go as they please, which leads to most of the problems.
This neighborhood does not have confidence in Heartland or this project, and now Heartland is going to be in a rebuilding phase.
In response to the rash of incidents, today Madison Mayor Paul Soglin took the extraordinary step of installing Deputy Mayor Gloria Reyes as an emergency site manager of sorts.
She can collect information, give advice to Heartland management when it might be appropriate, and provide me and the City Council with her insights.
Heartland Housing issued a statement today saying they're looking forward to working closely with Deputy Mayor Gloria Reyes. She'll head a safety team that has their first meeting tomorrow, and she told me she hopes to have a recommendation for the mayor in the next few weeks.
Dave Caulfield in the newsroom. Dave, thank you.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast when we return.
pretty snow outside.
Pretty snow, light snow, not snow that's going to impede your drive for this evening, so that's good news. Very cold though overnight. We're going to be in the teens tonight. Tomorrow we start a little bit of a warming trend in the upper 20s for our afternoon highs, then slowly into the 30s, and it'll be close to 40 by Saturday with a chance for a little bit of a rain mix there on Saturday evening.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.